Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. Let's talk about Saturday night's main event and how well I predicted it. Wow, that was crazy. Anyway, first thing I want to actually know, right, is, get this, I hate Saturday night's main event, right? So the whole time, right, until the last week, there was only 2 matches booked for the show. I thought, what are they doing? I wish it was only 2 matches booked for the show, because Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, while it is a feud that's been unfolding, chucked together. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, chucked together, right? And it meant it's only 2 hours long. We had no time for matches. Matches was so quick because we only had 2 hours. 2 hours for 4 matches, so we speed the matches up. But no, what does WWE do instead? They're going, okay, right, so 4 matches in 2 hours, we've got to speed the matches up. Ooh, why not? Why not, out of those 2 hours, let's spend about an hour of it on adverts, on commercial breaks. If you were just watching, right, forget YouTube ads, the promo packages, the sponsors, and the 5-minute breaks for commercial breaks was a massive part of the show. It was like 80% of the show. Let alone when you're, I don't know if this happened when it was live, but obviously I watched it back because I'm watching it the day after. When you watch it back, every 2 minutes it cuts to YouTube ads. Now, some of them are skippable, which is fair. I mean, more than fair. It's an expectation if you're going to do that many adverts. But sometimes they're not. And I genuinely think there was more time spent on adverts than there was in ring action on this show, and it's disgusting. You wouldn't think a $1 billion company needs that many adverts. Cool, have an ad break after every match. Do that. Don't do it during the match when the action is happening, and then don't slap YouTube ads on top of it. It's stupid. You're a $1 billion company. What are you doing? Why are you trying to get $100 million worth of just off of adverts, as if you're not already getting the revenue off of people watching your event and the people coming to see your event, buying merch, buying all the stuff you sell. You've got to torture with the adverts, the people who are giving you money. It doesn't make sense. Now, I heard WWE and TKO are in debt, which is why they're doing all these high ticket prices and all these sponsors and that. But like, how much debt could you be in to be a $1 billion company? How much debt could you be in to do that? And surely the money you make off of the success of your company alone should pay for those debts. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? What, like, oh, it's actually crazy. I don't know if they're just that money hungry, but it's starting to piss me off. And it's actually ruining wrestling. Like, wrestling was never a commercial thing, and that's the reason why it's never been one of the biggest things in the world. Now it is one of the biggest things in the world. It's on par with sports. But people used to have way more respect for sports than they did for wrestling. Now it's the same. But we'll have to endure all the sponsorship and adverts just to have that. It's ridiculous. I hate it. Rant over. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about Saturday night's main event. In the first match, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. And what I predicted was Drew McIntyre was winning, because although Jelly Roll's in the corner of Randy Orton, we know they want to set up Jelly Roll Logan Paul for SummerSlam, and I said Logan Paul was still going to find a way to cost Randy Orton in this match. And I didn't think Logan Paul would align himself with Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre likes to call people out on their hypocrisy, their lies. Even though he's a heel, he doesn't agree with no one. The fact he was walking in with Logan Paul and Logan Paul was in his corner and Drew McIntyre was fine with Logan Paul blows my mind. I thought WWE wouldn't do that with Drew McIntyre's character, yet they did. And yeah, and Randy Orton actually ended up getting the win, which I'm not mad about because it's Randy Orton, do you know what I mean? I'm mad Drew McIntyre's got a loss again. But an RKO out of nowhere and a win for Randy Orton, fine. But this is the part that pissed me off. Because I said, you know what, a match between Jelly Roll and Logan Paul, the two celebrities have a match at SummerSlam, that I don't mind. No, the match has now turned into Randy Orton and Jelly Roll against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul in a tag team match. That's such a goofy tag match. Because we don't actually know how good Jelly Roll is in the ring. We've heard he's been training, but does that mean he's good? It took Logan Paul 3-4 years to be good. I know people were saying he was good in his first match, but like, we're talking good for a first timer. We're not talking good for a wrestler. Do you know what I mean? And I know they've not really got much to do with Randy, and they do have things to do with Drew McIntyre. They do. They've got a feud with Damian Priest at the left, kind of like, it shouldn't have been that long, but they left it on a shit ending anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's things you can do with them. I don't think this tag match is necessary. I actually probably would have preferred Jelly Roll, Logan Paul one-on-one, and maybe a Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton with a stipulation one-on-one at SummerSlam. But it is what it is. Not going to complain. Drew McIntyre hit Jelly Roll with a Claymore kick, which was crazy to see. I believe Jelly Roll will probably be better for this business than Logan Paul will. He's arguably a bigger star in the world now, which is crazy, because I remember when Jelly Roll wasn't famous. Not saying I was a fan, I just knew who he was before he was like big time, because he did a collab song with an artist I like called Crypt, legendary artist. Anyway, so already 0-1 in predictions. Just like Great American Bash, not off to a good start. Then the second match was Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. Now this was slapped together, although they're already in a feud, and it makes sense. It was just randomly put together by NICHOLLZ on Instagram like days before. But I'm not mad at it, because I can see the vision for WWE. They want Jacob Fatu to have that moment at SummerSlam. They want him to win the belt back off of Solo Sikoa. But I feel like they don't want to discredit Solo Sikoa or discredit the title, and they want Solo to have a successful title defense before he loses to Jacob Fatu. So that's what this was, a successful title defense against Jimmy Uso, to put some respect on Solo's name. But now the respect is gone, because the way he won that was A, he had him in a roll-up, and B, Talatonga helped him in the roll-up. He had his leg through the ring, pushed Solo on the Jimmy. What we're doing? Acting as if Solo Sikoa can't beat Jimmy Uso. Mate, he was wrestling Cody Rhodes in the main event of SummerSlam last year. What are we doing? He's just pinned Jacob Fatu. I mean, I know he had the help of 3 people, but he pinned Jacob Fatu. And now we need Talatonga's help for Solo Sikoa just to roll up Jimmy Uso. Makes no sense, but whatever. Match was what it was. I couldn't remember anything from that match. I remember at one point JC Mateo shouting, "Solo, move," because Jimmy's about to throw his arse in your face. That's it. It wasn't memorable whatsoever, but I'm not mad it happened. It is what it is. I predicted Solo was going to win anyway, so 1-1 in predictions. At least I'm even. Then the next match we had LA Knight, Seth freaking Rollins. And then my prediction was LA Knight, because I said this was the time for LA Knight to get his big win, beat Seth Rollins, and they can shoot him into stardom, right? Only I didn't expect it to go how it did. I expected, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed appearance. I expected CM Punk, Sami Zayn, all these involvements to, fight it out, and then eventually, after some distractions, LA Knight would get the win over Seth Rollins, maybe by a roll-up, maybe by just a cheap move. Who knew, right? But no, the way it ended was so weird, and I can't tell if it was part of the show or not. Seth, tweaked his name, went over into the corner, and was talking to Paul Heyman, telling LA Knight to back off. The ref was telling him to back off. And it looked like one of those overused cliche moments where the heels, pretend to be hurt so he can play possum and take advantage of his opponent. And only it wasn't. Seth got out the corner, wasn't using his knee. I thought, yeah, he's milking the injury so he can, do the heel move. No, LA Knight runs up, hits a straight BFT so quick and pins him. Part of me thinks Seth actually hurt his knee and WWE called for a quick finish, and that's why LA Knight hit the quickest BFT I've ever seen and got the win. And that's why he wasn't happy, because the match didn't go the way he wanted, and maybe it didn't make LA Knight look as good as he was supposed to look, and that's why LA Knight was a bit mad. Or maybe LA Knight was just playing his character very well, which either way, applaud to him. Damn, that actually really surprised us, because I genuinely thought it was fake, and maybe it could still be. Maybe it could have been Seth. Seth knew he wasn't winning that match, and so instead he faked a knee injury so he didn't look bad when he loses to LA Knight, and he can use it as an excuse. I hope it was just if it was a real injury, I hope it's just tonight, it'll take a week to recover. It's just, you hurt it badly and it probably wouldn't have been a good idea to continue the match. I hope it's not a long-term injury, because that would suck. Seth Rollins is at high right now. He's got a great story going. He's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Lots of potential within the next few months, and so I hope it's not an injury. And if it is an injury and it's long-term, please be back by WrestleMania. Please, we need Seth freaking Rollins. He's the GOAT of WWE. He's the unspoken ghost, do you know what I mean? And he's very spoken about as well. That just goes to show the underappreciation I feel for Seth Rollins, right? So I'm not mad, because I'm 2-1 on predictions now. Come on. And then I became 3-1 in the main event when Gunther beat Goldberg. Now, I didn't mind this match, because normally the typical Goldberg match is spear, jackhammer, the kick out, and either someone capitalizes and beats Goldberg, or Goldberg beats that person by squashing them. This was different. Goldberg actually had to fight like it was a wrestling match. He didn't have to wrestle because he wasn't that good, and he was very stiff, but there was lots of punching and kicking, and it wasn't rinsing spears and jackhammers. There was only one spear, one jackhammer, and one sleeper hold, which I didn't mind. That I liked better. It was more of a fighting element. But you could see how stiff and old Goldberg was, and I didn't like how you know, Goldberg could withstand the chops, you know, the powerful chops from Gunther, but then Gunther, you know, did the cowardly thing and went after his bad knee when he's the old man who can't wrestle no more. Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't too. I actually didn't mind the match. The match was doing all right. Besides Gunther's stiffness, not Gunther's, sorry, Goldberg's stiffness. But it's fine. You can't blame him for that. And I thought normally we don't like Goldberg coming in, infiltrating our world champions or our big stars and ruining them and taking on the spotlight. But this was fine. It was his last match in his hometown. Fine, do what you want, right? And then he hit the spear, bit of a bad spear, but he went and hit the jackhammer, and I'm thinking, no, because last time we seen you, you were in miles better shape, and that was only 3 years ago. 7 years ago, you tried to hit a jackhammer on The Undertaker, and it went horribly. There is zero chance you're hitting a jackhammer on Gunther. If you do, it's not going to be a good one. He hit a good jackhammer on Gunther. He didn't land amazing, but that was just Goldberg on the way down. That wasn't like he actually had the important part, which is the suspension on Gunther. I was surprised by that, really. I don't know how much of that's controlled by Gunther, but a fair enough majority of it's got to be controlled by Goldberg. But I didn't like the ending. I didn't like how, after all of that, Gunther just pops up, one sleeper hold, Goldberg's done. End it with a powerbomb, end it with a bit more of a fight than that, because he did break out with the sleeper hold, just be put back in it, and the ref to immediately go, no, he's out. Well, no, because you don't fight out of it, get put back in it, and get put to sleep in 2 seconds. That doesn't happen. So I didn't really like the ending, but I liked the result. And Goldberg's last match, it was better than his last 5, so we'll take it. Gunther's still champion, that's the good part. 3-1 in predictions, a lot better than Great American Bash, but hopefully at Evolution I can get them all right. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tune in tomorrow for my reactions to Evolution, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.